So there you go. Yeah, what else do we have?
We also have a comment from Dree Zander, who says, the process was disheartening. I went to 2 hearings and I would have liked to see a map that prevailed and the vote not being rushed.
Vote not being rushed. And that person is the mayoral tutorial, our good friend over there. I know that.
Well, there was, somebody, as a matter of fact, the woman I mentioned before, that died in '36, tried to use the parliament maneuver to slow it down. That did not happen.
Yeah, there's no question that when you look back at the Senate and how they carved up the Illinois districts, that process was looked upon as not an open process. But you know what? In hindsight, the way that the Illinois Senate divided up our districts was so much more open than the way the process works. It was old school politics.
So we're going to get to the top part of the conversation.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it's our January Shop Talk show where we check in with our favorite local journalists and bloggers. Again with us, Kyle Hillman, who I put in the corner a while ago, but I promise not to do that again, Kyle. Ellen Moore, who's been...
You can't make that promise.
I was just kidding.
We're going to put it in again.
I lied.
Okay. Yes, Richard.
Suzanne McBride also with us. And we're going to get deeper into local news. We're asking our panelists to tell us the recent stories that they like, the ones they dislike, and what they
So, Suzanne, I'm going to start with you. What did you like?
Well, I like the story about Tamale Black's papers being now available. I mean, it's an amazing treasure trove of documents dating back many decades, and I cannot wait to go over and start going through some of those. And I know many other people, especially Chicagoans who care about neighborhoods and the history where we've been and where we're going. That's just an amazing gift, and I hope everyone takes the opportunity something to go over and read some.
So we'll be posting the likes, dislikes, and reviews. We have ones on our website too. Evan, what did you have?
Well, in terms of likes, I like the fact that a former Northwestern football player, former Minnesota Viking linebacker Napoleon Harris has decided to run for state senate for James old seat. I thought that was something that's interesting because a lot of people always complain about younger people not getting engaged in politics or the political process, and this is a young man who decided to be proactive in his community and neighborhood to try to represent his neighborhood in Congress or state senate, wherever.
That's a good story.
It is.
Kyle, what's on your list?
Yeah, mine's a little bit lighter. It's this.
Lighter than that one?
Yeah, the Southside St. Patrick's Day parade's back, which I like that. Yeah, granted, there's no alcohol, which is kind of like it's kind of like having a Bud Billiken parade without kids,
Are we talking about the Southside Irish Day Parade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's back, so that's good.
I have too many stories because I went to St. Xavier over on 103rd Street. Yes, I was there during those days, and it was some interesting times at the end of the parade. We'll just say that.
I talked to a lady about 2 years ago who wrote a book called The Whole History of the Southside Irish. And it has a really interesting beginning. It was like one block initially. People just walked around the block, and then grew into this huge parade with public officials and a lot of drinking, and a little bit got out of hand.
I think that was
All
Bridget
girls dancing with curly hair.
Yeah.
I think that was Bridget Kennedy's book. Was it Bridget Kennedy?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Former student at Columbia College.
Really interesting story.
Good plug there. What was your like, Richard?
My life was 4 black men being released from prison after serving time for 1994 in Inglewood. They got new trials back in November based on DNA evidence that indicated somebody else did the crime. The judge threw out the convictions because he said the evidence would not stand up. I mean, the evidence the convictions would not stand up in a new trial, so they're not going to be a trial. They had this period between November and January before they got out, even after the decision was made. I think it's a great story. They can't get the time back that was served, but they are out. I think that's a really good story. I just wanted to say about Tim Black and his papers. I had been to Tim Black's house on about 3 different occasions, and the stuff he has at home would equal all the stuff that he gave to the library. He's got papers, he's got books, he's got all kinds of reference material. He's an amazing guy and a storehouse of stuff that still could be put into an archive. He's just an amazing man.
So mine, I'm just going to talk briefly because we already talked about the Latinos gaining awards in the remap. I mean, I just think that I'm an investigative reporter at heart. That's what I do. You know, I'm all about what's fair. You know, it was time.
It was done, and you know, it's going to change even more. My question about that, I have a question about that too. Whether or not, what does that mean in terms of clout in city hall politics? I mean, is that going to be part of the shift in 2015?
I think you just came up with another show idea.
Okay, all right.
I think we're going to say that for another show. I like that.
Okay.
I'm writing it down.
All right, okay.
Latinos and clout. What does this mean for 2015? Okay, Sarah's got it. Our producer. She's pointing her head.
Good.
All right, future show, which I'm sure we'll have Kyle back to beat him up a little bit more to talk about that.
I'll be happy to.
All right, so what are the stories we didn't like? What we didn't like?
It was hard for me to narrow it down, actually, for this one in the WTF. I said, am I that cynical?
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
So what didn't we like? I'll start with you, Evan.
Okay, I kind of had a change of heart. I was going to go with the thing that happened in Bridgeport with the kid jumping on the other kid, but it wasn't so. But I'm going to go with the whole thing with Attorney General Lisa Madigan suing Westwood College, a for-profit university. It's like, I guess it's about 400 or 500 in the area. And I think it's a slippery slope with that because a lot of people like to blame the for-profit universities, but at the same time, we have a lot of people at these schools and have no business financially or academically at these schools because they can't hang academically. And
so what's the part you dislike about the fact that these kids are like wasting money at these schools and not performing well, or?
I would say in terms of online university or for-profit university, so look it up first to see if it's accredited and see if it's accredited or if they handle the course load. And a lot of people don't even know what university accredited in the first place.
So it's really the blame is on the students for not doing enough research. And
I think it's like 60-40.
You know, I wouldn't just blame the for-profit. I mean, I think that we talked about this on the show before, there are community colleges that have abysmal graduation rates and students are still paying, you know, a decent amount to go there. So I wouldn't just say that that impacts private schools.
No.
That's my little shtick.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think the blame has to be split. And
Exactly.
60-40 is probably a good percentage split, I think. So, okay. So, what do you think? What's a good story?
I've been waiting to talk about the pit bull story.
I had that, but okay, I'm going to go to another one. All right.
We this week saw an interview with the man who miraculously survived being attacked by those two dogs at Rainbow Park, and he rightly, wants the owner to be held responsible. Although it sounds like now charges, at least at the moment, aren't going to be filed. As a former owner of a pit bull, who's a wonderful, wonderful animal, I always get nervous when I see these stories, and the thing I'm disliking in advance is I fear the discussion is going to morph once again into pit bulls are bad, let's ban them. Remember the retired police officer from Chicago who now lives in Iowa?
Oh, yeah.
And he had the service dog, and that local...
He won that case.
He did for the moment. I mean, it's a TRO right now, but I always await these verdicts and how the public will perceive this because, as we know, it's often the person who's raising the dog or not raising the dog more so than the dog itself. So I hope that the conversation remains on those kind of issues as opposed to let's just outright ban certain breeds.
But how do you feel about the outcome of that? I mean, the owner, and as the owner of a pit bull at some point, this guy can only get fined. I mean, in the newspaper they said he could get fined in 2 areas, but none of them are, I mean, they're fines, they're not criminal prosecutions. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor told the police wanted to press charges, and they said, well, there was no intent with the dogs to hurt anybody. So, but this, I'm sure this guy's going to sue. But in the meantime, do you think that is sufficient? The owner responsibility I'm talking about?
Well, maybe we need to look at what the actual local laws, ordinances are, as well as state laws. I don't know enough about those laws to know, and I mean, it seemed to me to be something on the books that would allow you to go after, if in fact there was negligence in this case. I don't know enough, I don't read the police report, these dogs, I mean, I once had 2 of my dogs get loose, and it was, scary having to track them down. Now, they didn't attack people, they were just running around like crazy dogs having fun, and it was just scary, you thought they were going to get hit by a car. So I don't know the circumstances, how long these dogs have been out, if they had done it before. I mean, those would be the, facts you would build in a case to...
It's down the street from me, which is why I paid it. It's like 3 blocks from me.
As a person who doesn't own or has never had any dogs or Rottweilers, I feel sorry for people who have good pit bulls. However, I'm one of those people who, when I see a pit bull not on a leash, I don't care what kind of dog it is, I'm running. So,
All dogs should be leashed at all times.
all dogs. So if you're just not tuning into the show, you're listening to Barbershop on Vocalo 89.5 FM. And today we're talking about the recent local news headlines that we liked, the ones that we did not like, and the ones that made us go, WTF! You can join our conversation by calling us at 888-635-1112. You can also tweet the show and follow the conversation at Chicago Reporter, or leave comments on Vocalo's Facebook page. And my friends have been commenting on my Facebook page as well, where everybody always wants to comment on the WTF list. But we'll get to that. So we've heard the good news, and we've heard a little bit about what we disliked, but we didn't hear.
Did you say what you disliked?
I didn't, but Kyle didn't either. We gotta keep it on. So Kyle, what was your dislike?
With the whole G8 protest, I could talk for hours on that, but one of the arguments that they made for passing those laws was that they have to be prepared. They have to be prepared. Everything's got to be prepared. But then it was reported today, or reported last week, that the police department doesn't feel like they're being prepared. In fact, the only training that they're receiving is baton training, and they're getting a pamphlet with stick figures in it.
Yeah, that's reassuring for us.
Right, exactly.
I'm being sarcastic.
Drawn by my 8-year-old, who probably could do decent drawings if they needed
Sure. It's a crayon, I'm sure. But no, in fact, when you just look at it, they just reported they settled 2003 police illegal arrest, brutality lawsuits just now. So I guess with these pamphlets, they're preparing for the next round? Is that what we're doing, or?
You're asking the wrong person.
It's bad.
Yeah, I saw the pamphlets on television.
It's bad.
It's, when you say, well, is this a training? I mean,
There's got to be more than
pamphlet
that.
with, well, there is, but not a whole lot.
Well, they said they can't train the entire police force, but they're going to need the entire police force come downtown. So the problem is that only certain individuals are going to have to do more advanced training.
Part of the issue, too, is that there's uncomfortability about bringing in law enforcement outside of Chicago.
There should be uncomfortability.
Why do you think that?
Because you have neighborhoods, you have relationships, you have standard procedures, and when you bring people outside that work, that flow, that family, I think you have potential for some bad things to happen.
Yeah, look what happened last police chief.
Yeah.
Point taken. What was your dislike?
Well, I was going to be the pit bull, but I'm going to leave the pit bull alone because, okay. But this is really an ugly story, though, about an 18-year-old woman from Highland Park who was sexually assaulted and left naked on a sidewalk in Logan Square. That happened on New Year's Eve. She was beaten and was bleeding, and it's believed that 6 men took part in the assault. It's hard to believe that nobody saw anything. She was trying to go to a concert at the Congress Theater and didn't have proper ID, so they didn't let her in. She was assaulted. It's part of the thing that's really disturbing. It's a disturbing story overall, but to think that out of 6 men, nobody said, this is a really bad idea. You know what I mean? It's a little disconcerting to think that we live in that kind of society where not that if it happened someplace else it would be terrible, but it was a residential street, and nobody saw it, and obviously these men didn't feel that badly about doing it. So I felt really bad about reading that story.
That happened in Rosemont a few years ago, maybe like 5-10 years ago, like broad daylight.
Really?
On a very busy street,
You know, so it's I know that left an impression with me. I will for a long time. It's not the only incident like that that's happened, but this one just seems so awful. Thinking about the parents and what their feelings might be about that kind of situation.
So mine isn't
What's yours?
as heinous as that. I don't know what a good segue is from that.
Well, that was my dislike story.
So my dislike, yes, and I think we could probably all agree on that one. I had 2. So Kyle has really helped me out, narrow this down, because I had the public protest in Rom as one of them. The other one, and this is a national story. Okay, Microsoft got a little flack. You guys may have heard about it, but if you didn't, you should check out the story. I put it on my Facebook, and I think John is going to be posting this too. So Microsoft has created this app, which people have now dubbed the Ghetto app. Have you heard about this?
I think I did hear about that.
Okay, essentially, it's an app that essentially helps you avoid bad neighborhoods.
Right, I did hear about
And it's got this whole racial undertones everybody on the panel right now is like rolling their eyes and shaking their heads. Apparently they're hearing for the first time. But yeah, so this app helps you avoid bad neighborhoods and some other different things and using technology. But, you know, it just smells funny.
It does, but I heard an argument in favor of it, saying that, which sort of made sense a little bit, you know, given the story I just, of course, that could be, those things could happen anywhere, but I heard it being discussed in the pro car side of the thing. You know, the pro, it was like if you came in from someplace out of town and you didn't know the city that you're in, and, you know, you wouldn't want to get caught up in a neighborhood that had a record of being, a track record of being a bad neighborhood.
And he uses criminal statistics, so I'm guessing like census and things like that.
The other side of that, though, says that, well, because it's a black neighborhood, that means it's got to be bad.
Well, I think the bigger issue that it brings up is like, why is there a crime in, you know, a lot of different neighborhoods? And it's not just black neighborhoods, it's, you know, a bunch of different areas. If you're talking about sexual assault, I want to know where are the most sexual assaults. Can I segment my app so I can look, because then you might find some neighborhoods on the north side. But I think it's just those racial undertones, which we're in this society right now where we're not the 60s where racism was very black and white. Everything is very pernicious now, and it's like this coding for words. You like that word?
That's a word.
It's very pernicious. But I think there's a lot of code words that we use, and so this, I think, for people felt a little bit like that. And I'm sure that's not Microsoft's intention. I mean, when you're using statistics straight from, you know.
Well, what if we created an app that said, how do people feel about this? If we created an app specifically for people of color that indicated places that you should not go because white people wouldn't like that. And so you punch that up and say, okay, I shouldn't go to maybe Bridgeport or if I'm in some
Will we still be offended about that?
Some parts in the South, you know, and some towns, better not go there because, you know, this is a problem with black people. So would that be an app that would be okay?
That's a good question. I'll throw that out to the panel. Wait, Kyle, you're not getting away
Kyle,
with
lean
it.
back like
I am passing that buck as far and fast as I can. I don't want nothing to do with that question.
Wait, Kyle's looking at Evan. Evan's looking at the barber, and Suzanne's the only one looking at me. So Suzanne, what do you think about this?
Well, we'll have to come up with a clever, offensive name, and then you can sell it.
And I will admit, too, that this app, I mean, is supposed to keep you from bad weather, so you're supposed to be able to avoid bad weather and bad neighborhoods.
Okay. See, nobody has too much to say about that one.
I got something. I got something.
Not on the record. Wait, Evan's got something real quick.
Yeah, well, I looked at it. I saw the story, and yeah, some racial overtones to it and everything. But also, if I had someone coming from out of town, they wanted to go hang out on, I don't know, St. Nicholas, Stony Island, probably should not hang out there after dark. But it's kind of a slippery slope too.
And that's true, and I think people are using the excuse of the out-of-towners. Come on, let's be real. It's going to be Chicagoans using this app, and it's going to be people who are like, how can I avoid, I can say Cabrini Green now because it's torn down, but how can I avoid developments like that in neighborhoods like that? Because I have people that I know who said that they've used their, I think it's OnStar or GPS, I can't use whatever names, to do kind of like the same thing.
Kimberly Ellis spoke. Keep it tuned to the Barbershop Show on Vocalo 89.5 FM and Vocalo.org. And coming up after the break, the recent local news headlines that made us go, WTF. You heard it right. We will be right back.